All right, Jim Vandehei, last week, he's here, right? Yeah,
he's there.
Last week, you were awarded the 2024 Fourth Estate Award by the National Press Club, along with Axios' the great Mike Allen. So congratulations.
That's nice.
The award recognizes journalists who have made significant contributions to the industry, and you have. Specifically, you and Mikey were awarded for your work that has revolutionized how audiences consume news. And we have some of the remarks you made during your acceptance speech. Let's listen.
I hate this damn debate about, like, oh, we don't need the media. Like, it is not true. Think about what makes this. I love this country. I'm a beneficiary of this country. Like some from Wisconsin who can come and start two companies, be up here, win an award, sit next to Mikey. I'm a beneficiary of it. But there's something about the country. There's something about it, right? There's something about freedom, capitalism, the animal spirits of democracy. But at the core of that is maybe transparency, maybe a free press, maybe the ability to do your job without worrying to go to jail, maybe the ability to sit in a war zone and tell people what's actually happening so they're not just looking at distortion. Matters. It matters profoundly. It's why it's not like we just love getting up at 3 or 4 in the morning doing this every single day. Like, we do it because we love it. We do it because it matters. The work that we do matters. Everything we do is under fire. Elon Musk sits on Twitter every day, or X today, saying, like, we are the media. You are the media. My message to Elon Musk is bullshit. You're not the media. You having a blue check mark, a Twitter handle, and 300 words of cleverness doesn't make you a reporter any more than me looking at your head and seeing that you have a brain and telling you have an awesome set of tools makes me a damn neurosurgeon, right? Like, what we do, what journalists do, what you did in Mississippi, what Al Jazeera does in the Middle East. You don't proclaim yourself to be a reporter. Like, that's nonsense. Like, being a reporter is hard, really hard. You have to care. You have to do the hard work. You have to get up every single day and say, I want to get to the closest approximation of the truth without any fear, without any favoritism. You don't do that by popping off on Twitter. You don't do that by having an opinion. You do it by doing the hard work.
Yeah, come on, slow clap, everybody. Whoa. First of all, I've got to say, extraordinary content. It needed to be said.
Yeah.
It continues to need to be said. When all of the garbage is flying around on social media, lying about reporters, lying about the hard work they do, lying about the hard work editors do, lying about everything up and down about not only their alternative set of facts, but alternative set of facts about what people like you do. And I love how you connected reporters in Mississippi in the 1960s to reporters fighting for their life to get the story out in the Middle East today. Jim, it was very powerful.
Really good.
Very powerful. Even if even if we had to beep you more than we would if we ran a Dave Chappelle concert,
I
it was
liked
still
it,
good.
Jim's mild mannered.
He preached it, though. The cadence, I mean, I might get him ordained.
Well, let me just say, why this is so important right now, more than ever, is because critics of the press are feeling more empowered than ever to lie more than ever. I've had friends for years going, oh, you know, I'm so overwhelmed, Joe, by the news. I don't read the news. I go, oh, where do you get your news then? Epic Times. I go,
Oh, God.
You get your news from a website run by Chinese by conspiracy theorists in a Chinese religious cult. That is where you get the no. Or if social media, people lying every day, every hour, every minute about the news. What you do matters. What the New York Times does matters. What the Wall Street Journal does matters. What Jonathan Lemire does matters. What the Financial Times does matters. What NBC News and MSNBC reporters do matters. It matters.
And it doesn't mean there aren't things that we get wrong. And the reason I guess I was hopped up at that speech was I listened to so many reporters who feel like the industry's going to hell. Nobody trusts them. They're demoralized. And the truth is we don't have time to be demoralized. We don't have time to whine. We have to do our job. Like, there is a information war out there, and there's still tens of millions of people that depend on great reporting, and it's our job to make sure we create viable businesses around it, and that we really do try to get to the closest approximation of the truth. Maybe do a little bit, maybe be more curious than condescending, maybe a little more fearless than foaming at the mouth. And I think if we can do those things, I think we can win back people who are skeptical. The entire social media ecosystem, a lot of the things you just mentioned, they feed off of all of us trying to get to the closest approximation of truth. So people just, like, I think they need to calm down. I know there's a lot of your viewers who kind of wish that sometimes, like, everything was just like boom, boom, boom on one side. But, like, we have to bring people facts. We have to bring people clarity and hopefully reported insights so they can ultimately make better decisions and understand a very, very complicated world.
By the way, we've got great viewers. And you know what our viewers are? They're family. We got a family that understands because they've been around. You have a family that follows you that understands because you've been around. The New York Times has a family. Wall Street Journal. These places that have great reporters, right? They don't need to worry about what happens over the next 5 minutes or the next 5 weeks or the next 5 months because you print truth all the time. And like you said, this is what gets me. Is somebody pops off on Twitter or some other social media and they lie. They make mistakes. You know what the cost of that is? Nothing. They do it again. In fact, it helps them because algorithms are rigged. So you stir up shit and the more you can get people angry, the more followers you get, but also now it's monetized to help you lie.
The more you hate, the more you make.
Yeah, there you go. I like. Hey, Rev, did she preach for you next weekend?
That'll go viral.
I like that. But Jim, here's the deal that I explained to my friends that go into the gutter and get disinformation. I say there's no cost for them lying to you. But if Jim Vandehei has a reporter that gets it wrong, well, they're editors. If the New York Times gets something wrong or the Wall Street Journal reporters get something wrong, they're editor after editor after editor after editor, and they check it, and they make sure it's right. They make sure it's double and triple sourced, and still sometimes they get it wrong. And so then what happens? They either retract it or most likely they get sued if they don't retract it, right? So there are checks and balances there that you don't find in the gutter when you're on social media just following algorithms that lead you to liars.
And it's easy to take one case of something being biased or one case of something being wrong and saying, therefore, everything the New York Times writes or Axios writes is wrong. And what I tell people is just read the Wall Street Journal or Axios or the Financial Times or the New York Times every day and use your own eyes. Do you feel like they're trying to get to the closest approximation of the truth with every story, and that most of the time, if not almost all of the time, they do? If they do, then you can trust it as a news source. It doesn't mean you can't give yourself time to go get riled up because you have ideological views or other passions. But if you take away truth and you take away reported truth or common facts from the equation, I honestly believe the whole damn American experiment goes under. You might love or hate a free press, but there is a reason that this democracy, this country, has thrived in a way that none others have. And I believe and will forever believe that a free press sits at the center of that, and that sometimes reality is reality and facts are facts.
It is. You know, Jim, this weekend, the second greatest thing to come out of Wisconsin. The first I saw a castle in Wisconsin made completely of cheese. Well, but after that, Jim Vandehei, number two. And you know what I always say is to my friends who say, I don't trust the press anymore because they've been listening to Donald Trump undermine the press and Elon Musk and everybody else. I go, you know what? Murdoch owns the Wall Street Journal. Read the Wall Street. You don't want to read the New York Times? I'll read it for you. You read the Wall Street Journal. That's a Murdoch paper. Look at their reporting. I mean, so if people think that Rupert Murdoch's Wall Street Journal is like a left-wing, pro-deep state newspaper, they're beyond help. I mean, it's like at some point, people have to want to know the truth. And if they don't want to know the truth, well, then go ahead and walk around ignorant. But again, if you won't even look at the Wall Street Journal,
right,
then yeah, there's a problem.
Axios co-founder and CEO Jim Vandehei. Really quick, Rich, we've got to go. Go ahead.
There's a movement in this country to teach kids in high schools media literacy, and they can basically navigate this space. It's an important part of a civics education.
It's a really important civics education, for sure.